So if you've clicked on this video, you're probably struggling with staying focused and getting things done. Now think about it for a second. It makes sense because we're constantly surrounded by distractions. Right now I'm at uni, so I completely understand. There'll be times where I need to revise for a certain module, but I find myself chilling on TikTok or playing PS. Honestly, I'd say that focus is less of a skill and more of a habit that you constantly need to work on. There are some steps I take to make sure I'm staying focused on a task, so let's talk about it. The first and best thing you can probably do is eliminate all distractions. Now, one of the main ways I get distracted is through my phone. I might be on TikTok or YouTube. So one of the things that I do is I'll either turn it off or put it on Do Not Disturb. So if you are using an iPhone, you can use a setting called Focus, which only lets certain notifications like text messages and phone calls come through. One of the main things I use is downtime, which pretty much locks me out of apps like TikTok and YouTube for a certain amount of time. Mine is set for 6 AM to 10 AM, which is usually when I wake up and get ready for uni. The second thing you can do is stop multitasking. Now, you might feel like you're being more productive when you're doing 2 or 3 things at the same time, but the truth is you probably get less done because you're less focused. So you'll do little bits of 3 different tasks, but you won't get as much done if you were to stay focused on one task and focus all your attention on that same task. So one of the things you can do is open a new browser which is dedicated to the task at hand. If you don't, you'll probably be focused on changing the song or the podcast you're listening to instead of working on the task you've set. In this situation, you need to focus on quality over quantity. You can't get everything done well at the same time, whereas you can focus on one task and get it done well. It's a lot easier to make progress when you're focused fully in a certain task. The next step you can take is to literally train your brain into focusing. So like I mentioned earlier, staying focused on a task is more of a habit than a skill. So there's been some studies done that show you can improve your concentration and cognitive abilities by improving your problem solving skills. So things like programming, puzzles, Sudoku and chess can actually help improve your concentration skills, and you can see this even in adults. Now there's a chance you might have ADHD. If you do, I'd say use trial and error and see what works for you and what doesn't. Now I might make a video on ADHD and how it affects your uni work, but again, trial and error, see what works for you and how you can overcome it. And the last step we're going to talk about is having a focus of the day. Now this is something Ali Abdaal has talked about in one of his videos. He mentions how he has a highlight of the day which he sets the night before. Now I've seen that this has worked for me because I pretty much revolve my day around the task at hand. So let's say that I need to revise for one of my modules at uni. I'll have set periods of time where I focus on a certain topic. I'd say the reason this works for me is because I know to set the task as a priority. Another thing you can do is to make it as specific as possible. So let's say you need to revise about AI. Instead of writing you need to revise about AI, say you need to revise a certain topic within AI. Or let's say that you're learning a new language. I'd recommend focusing on conversational sentences which you can begin implementing instead of trying to learn everything about the language within an hour. In this step, you need to make the task as specific as possible. This will just increase the likelihood of you actually getting it done instead of worrying about where to start. Alright, so I'll leave this video here. If there's anything else you want to know, just leave them in the comments. You can check out my website where I talk about computer science and my experience. But yeah, that's it for today.